for repealing this law. After multiple challenges to this law before the Supreme Court, the Affordable Care Act is here to stay.
On a 6-3 vote that was released today, the High Court upheld the legality of taxpayer subsidies in the Affordable Care Act. The second prison worker charged in connection with the escape of 2 New York inmates is getting a new legal team. Gene Palmer's attorney, Andrew Brockway, stepped down today, telling reporters Palmer needs a bigger legal team to defend himself against charges of promoting prison contraband and tampering with physical evidence. Brockway points out that he's a small-town attorney and that he'll help Palmer's new lawyer where he can. On Wall Street today, the Dow lost 76 points to go to 17,890. NASDAQ was off 10 points today to go to 5112. S&P slipped 6 points to close at 2102. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. President Obama will eulogize Reverend Clementa Pinckney during Pinckney's funeral in Charleston, South Carolina tomorrow.
We'll be mindful of not just how sad it is that those individuals were taken from us, but also use the occasion to celebrate their lives.
Presidential spokesman Josh Earnest says the president will also pay tribute to the 8 other victims of last week's fatal shooting spree at a historic black church in Charleston. The president will be joined at Pinckney's funeral by First Lady Michelle Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, and his wife Jill. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan is scheduled to begin chemotherapy on Monday. Said doctors have told him he has stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and not stage 4 as feared. Hogan says that makes his chances much, much better. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders gaining ground on Hillary Clinton. New numbers out today show Sanders' support for the Democratic presidential nomination picking up in Iowa and New Hampshire. Latest Bloomberg Politics poll shows 50% of likely Iowa caucus goers backing Clinton, while 24% support Sanders. I'm Evan Heidenrich.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. Lifestyle Magazine and Quade Harley-Davidson of Loma Linda present the Lowrider Circus Saturday, June 27th. The fun begins at 10 a.m. and continues through 6 p.m. at Quade Harley-Davidson, located at 25160 Redlands Boulevard in Loma Linda. There will be a car and bike show, a car hop competition, vendors including food vendors, live bands, bounce houses, clowns and a circus show, face painting, games for the kids, and a monster truck display. Buy your tickets in advance and pay only $20, or buy your tickets the day of the event for $25. For tickets or schedule of details, come by Quade Harley-Davidson in Loma Linda at 25160 Redlands Boulevard or call 909-796-8399. 909-796-8399. Whatever you do, mark the Lowrider Circus on your calendar and get ready for some good old-fashioned fun Saturday, June 27th, brought to you by Lifestyle Magazine and Quade Harley-Davidson. That's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Here's your Money Minute with Market Wrap host Mo Ansari.
If you follow the markets, you've probably been getting seasick lately. But what if I told you that market volatility can be a good thing? If you're a bargain hunter, this is your coupon. So keep your shopping list handy. If you're a long-term investor with plenty of time before retirement, the money going into your 401k each month will buy more shares when the markets are down. And if you have a good financial plan, you can relax while others worry, because that plan will carry you beyond today's headlines. Of course, you should always consider professional guidance before making any financial decisions. That's your Money Minute. I'm Mo Ansari.
For more tips on investing during market volatility and other investment topics, listen to Market Wrap weekdays at 5 p.m. on this station. For a free consultation with Mo Ansari, call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Are your student loans making life miserable? Optimum Student Solutions can now help consolidate your federal student loans. That's right, we can help lower your monthly payment on your federal student loans. In some cases, you can lower your monthly payments in half. It doesn't matter how much you owe, even if you are in default on your federal student loans. Just call us right now and find out if you qualify for these substantial savings. We'll help you remove your default status, lower your monthly payments, and stop wage garnishments. Let our experts eliminate the confusion and find the best payment solution for you. All you have to do is make the call. If you are a teacher, nurse, police officer, firefighter, or work for a nonprofit, new federal programs are available that may have a portion of your student loan forgiven. Stop worrying and start saving. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159. Get free information. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159.
Kcaa.
And here we are, Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. And we're just having a great Thursday here.
Hey, a little warm outside, Bob.
Yeah, turn it up. It's not hot enough.
Hey, when it's hot, we're hot.
That's right. Crank up that humidity, too.
Yeah.
Love that humidity.
Can you say that fast 3 times?
I'll try.
Wow.
I hope all you folks out there are having a good day and enjoying this wonderful weather that people back east would give their eye teeth for.
I guess they got a big cooling off spell, and 2/3 of the western United States or southwestern United States is hotter than Hades or something like that. There's a lull on the upper East Coast.
How about that?
But we got the hot weather here, Bob. It's going to be a great week. You know, I'm getting ready to do a little vacation, so the weather should be great. By the time I go on vacation, hopefully it'll cool off just a tad, and then we'll get out there and going to take my son and do some backpacking.
Hey, that sounds like a real good bonding adventure.
Yeah, you know, for years we've kind of gone camping a little bit and taken some little hikes. So this time he's really plotted out to go to these 3 or 4 lakes we've always kind of wanted to get into that he was always a little bit too small to go to, and so they're quite vigorous hikes. They're not overly challenging, but they are hard with a high altitude, and they're in the eastern high Sierras there, so it should be quite fun.
Well, that sounds fantastic, and you know, it's something he'll remember for his whole life. You know, having the time that he spent with his dad out camping and stuff. I remember when I was younger and I was in Boy Scouts, and my dad used to go with me.
Bob, when you were younger, they had Boy Scouts?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Another starving comedian, folks. It's good he has a day job. But yes, so we used to do a lot of camping, and he was one of the scoutmasters, and that's when I lived in Arizona. And we used to, go out in the middle of the boondocks and go camping and stuff. We even had our own burro as a mascot for our troop that we acquired on one of our visits.
Really?
Out to one of the, where there's a bunch of wild burros and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
kind
of cool.
I think the camping thing and the hiking and backpacking makes you think outside the normal boundaries that you normally live in the urban society where we live. Is that how can you build a fire? Can you prevent yourself from getting lost? If you got lost, what would you do? Could you sustain yourself for a few days out in the wild? A lot of different kind of things that most kids today never even have to give it a second thought, and all these things I want him to make sure that he has a little bit of a grasp on. So
well, it's important because you never know what will happen with the United States and the economy and everything else, and sometimes you may have to rough it, or there's lots of young people that go out and they go hiking and things and they get lost, and a lot of them, the ones that have survival skills like that,
right,
do much better than the ones that don't.
All you want to do is help your odds a little bit, right? For whatever you can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be quite adventuresome for my son and I. Baseball's done for me this season, and we're just back to selling real estate. So
any of you folks out there in the high desert that want to sell your house, give Realtor Randy, a call here at 951-347-9973.
9773.
9773.
Good job, though. That was
347-9773.
You got that right off your tongue there. Good job, Bob.
I know.
Well, yeah, I'm doing a fair amount of business in the high desert, Spring Valley Lake mostly. I live there, and I know a lot of the folks there. So I really try to stay within the neighborhood that I live. So it's looking real good up there, Bob. We're moving a few houses, and they're moving off the market relatively fast. Looks like you're diligently looking for something.
Well, I was
lost.
looking for the B&C flyer.
Oh, well, Bob, I think did I give that to you?
I had it last week.
You did.
But if not, we'll see what I can do to get it back.
Yeah, because I don't have it.
But at any rate, yeah, we're looking forward to a good weekend coming up here. It's been busy. I've been getting a lot of activity on the properties that I have right now. And it's getting busy out there. The May sales were up on the latest report. I think you're going to cover that in a little bit here on the CAR Newsline.
I have some of the Newsline here, but some of the articles are ones from last week that I didn't get to. But, it's still going to give us a little trend on what's going on out there other than, what you and I might have a perspective on. This is more of a statewide perspective, so it's pretty good. So
yeah. And let's see.
Had an open house last week. We had quite a bit of traffic through one of my properties over there in Spring Valley Lake on Driftwood. That property's been there. Well, actually, some of the people need to think about when they're getting ready to list their property. Is it ready to list, right? So in this particular property, the house was in pretty good shape. The challenge was there was a tenant in this property, Bob, that only limited the showings to 1 hour per week, Sunday between 3 and 4 o'clock. Well, there's plenty of interest in the property. The problem is nobody could get in to see it. So finally, the tenant lease ran out and moved, and within 2 weeks of the time the tenant leaving, we have an offer on that property. So, we're still looking for some backup offers possibly on that. We don't have an accepted offer yet, but that property is at 14042 Driftwood Drive in Victorville, California, up there in Spring Valley Lake. Beautiful lake community. This property is not on the water itself. It's about it's about a stone's throw. It's right off the backyard of the property for the most part. There's another block right behind it, but it's right around the corner from the lake. So it's a real nice property. It is 2,518 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and built in 1986. And this property has a fairly good-sized backyard with a pool in it. Not a lot of properties in Spring Valley Lake have pools and or good-sized backyards. So.
Nor in the future are there going to be many that'll be able to.
Yeah, because there's no water to put in that pool. But this one also has a little peekaboo view, Bob, of the lake off the back deck, right off the master bedroom. So, and it's been just completely re-stained and weather coated, as well as the back patio has been redone as well. So. It's probably in really nice shape. So come out and take a look at it, or give me a call, 951-300-1010 or 951-347-9773. Give me a call.
Yeah. Hey, and folks, don't forget, Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy is brought to you by Exit Inland Realty at 1450 University Avenue in Riverside. You can reach them direct at 951-300-1010. 951-300-1010, and check out their lovely website. That's exitinlandrealty.com. Exitinlandrealty.com. Full search capabilities, and lots of good articles on buying and selling and stuff. And the show is brought to you by Realtor Bob Bishop and Realtor Randy Guth. And you can reach us, as I said, at the office at 951-300-1010, full-service brokerage. We're going to take a real short break right now, so stay tuned. We'll be back. We've got a special guest coming up that'll be a nice surprise for you. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
How hard can it be? You put up a sign, you just wait for the offers to roll in. It becomes a second job.
Getting the house appraised and the comps.
The money that you think you're going to save, you end up losing. I've bought and sold homes before, and now the first thing I do is call a realtor.
Realtors have the experience to price your home so it can sell for up to 16% more than selling it yourself.
Using a realtor is a smart financial decision.
Get the facts straight about selling your own home. Talk to an agent, and be sure to ask if that agent is a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors.
It's way too risky to sell your house on your own.
Don't let your house go to foreclosure. Call Exit Inland Realty today. We can help you stay in your house longer, and we may be able to get you as much as $30,000, depending on the type of loan and the lender, as a moving incentive. So don't delay. Call today at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010. And go to our website, www.exitinlandrealty.com.
I'm Tito Love from the TV show I'm Mad as Hell and I'm Not Gonna Take It Anymore. I'm so tired of stupid people that I've written SOS, Stuck on Stupid, the self-help book about common sense and philosophy. You can buy a copy at your local bookstore or at Amazon.com. Then visit MainPerformanceUSA.com for the complete story. Read SOS, Stuck on Stupid, the self-help book, and stay away from the stoopies.
Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy is brought to you by the sumptuous Chinese food restaurant in Riverside, the Mandarin Gardens. Experience all your Chinese favorites and your favorite tropical drinks at the Mandarin Gardens. Banquet facilities are available as well. 1445 University Avenue, or call for takeout 951-786-9887. Say hi to Jason, tell him Bob and Randy sent you, and he'll give you a free order of egg rolls. That's Mandarin Gardens, 1445 University Avenue. Hey folks, are you looking for a better way to save some green? I think everybody is, but this is B&C Cleaning Service. They understand that first impressions are important, and they offer building maintenance and general cleaning, facility cleaning to each of their clients, and all of their products are green products. Their goal is to provide exceptional services so that your company makes a great impression every time. They also clean schools and daycare facilities and homes. Home services, your home will be cleaned to your highest expectations by our trained professionals. They're willing to customize a cleaning plan to suit your specific needs at affordable prices. We just don't make beds, but we pay close attention to details, making sure the house is in exceptional shape by the time the team leaves. Believe it or not, they also clean churches. They believe that your church is more than a building. It's a gathering place for the community, and they're experts in handling the cleaning needs of churches. Cleaning schedules are tailored and flexible. They'll work it out on with the facility manager to know your needs and to ensure that their clients are satisfied. So, folks, give them a call. You can reach them at 951-858-3351. That's 951-858-3351. And don't forget, if you're looking for a better way to save some green, call B&C Cleaning Services. Hey, we are back.
Real Estate Talk with
Bob and Randy on this wonderful Thursday. We're still waiting for him to turn the heat up.
You know what? I like it when it's hot, Bob. As long as there's not wind, I don't care how hot or how cold it gets. I like it.
Well, I like it when it's hot and it's a little drier than it is right now.
I just don't like wind.
But other than that, yeah. Well, you live in wind country.
It's really windy.
I know. Every time I'm doing an open house of my properties up in Hesperia, almost invariably every time at least one sign blows down, no matter what you do. And there's just like prevailing winds there all the time. So it'd be heck to play on that former PGA golf course up there that the house is located on.
Now, Bob, don't you have a house listed right on that golf course?
Absolutely, right on the 8th hole. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the future.
It's a beautiful place. We'll talk about it in a little bit, I guess. But so you got any articles you got to go through right away?
No, I was going to see what you had over there on your end and get some stuff going here for me, too.
Well, let's just do a couple tidbits here. Hey, Bob. Building permits rise, housing starts fall in May. So the permits are up, but the housing starts actually fell a little bit. It says here, permits for single-family homes rose 2.6% to a rate of 386,000 units, while housing starts for single-family homes fell 5.2% to a rate of 635,000, according to a report by the U.S. Census Bureau. So I know it's kind of a mixed bag there, huh, Bob? You got permits are up, but starts are down, so... What's the dealio?
You know, it's hard to say what's going on out there because it's different with new homes than it is with existing homes. Like, for example, I saw an ad for a new home builder the other day. They were giving people a $10,000 allowance for landscaping their backyard.
Wow.
But, you know, builders, just for your own information, folks out there, when you put your existing home up for sale, the biggest competition you have is new home developers, because they can offer a plethora of choices of additional
whether it's
add-on goodies.
I
mean, they can give you all your appliances. They can landscape your backyard. They can upgrade the flooring or the carpeting or
countertops.
Reconfigure some things inside the house. And these are things that, if you have an existing home, are pretty expensive and will be pretty hard to offer. But if you have an existing home, you can offer to pay the buyer's closing costs, maybe take care of some of the repairs that they might request, something like that. But you just don't have as much resources. And when a builder offers those things, say they give you $10,000 to fix up your yard and stuff, they're just going to write that off as advertising or something like that as part of their taxes. So they may pay for it up front, but in the long run, they're going to get it back.
Right, because it's just an expense to them.
They just expense it, exactly. Right. And that's not to say that an existing home seller couldn't do that and expense it too. But, to want to offer a fairly good-sized chunk of your equity to get the house sold, it may not be necessary as it is with a new home builder.
Yeah, and an existing home for sale, that home seller, he may not have that capital just sitting there to go out and, say, pay $10,000 for new landscaping in the backyard or whatever it is that you were requesting. They may not be able to do that just financially. So, the builders, they have probably a lot more money sitting there or accessible to them.
Well, they already have the contractors.
Yeah, they're out there doing stuff.
They're already doing work for them, so they just go, hey, guys, go out and landscape this yard and send me the bill.
Yeah.
So they already have the labor, pretty much ready to do any of that stuff. And, or appliances, they can just call the company that's supplying appliances for them anyway and say, hey, send me over a set and bill me.
Right.
And so just to keep that in mind, folks, there is a difference between selling an existing home and competing with the developers that are out there trying to sell their new homes.
Excuse me. So one of the things I talked about there in that little bit, Bob, was housing starts fall in May. So California home sales softened in May, Bob. California home sales softened in May, but the housing market momentum continued to be solid as the spring home buying season marked higher year-over-year home sales and prices for the fourth straight month, reported by Kcaa. Home sales rose above the $400,000 mark in May for the second straight month since October 2013 and were the second highest level in nearly 2 years. Closed escrow sales of existing single-family detached homes in California totaled a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 423,360 units in May, according to the information collected by Kcaa. That's the California Association of Realtors. The May figure down 1.1% from the revised 427,880 homes sold in April, slightly below the long-run April to May average sales. Increase of about 0.6%. Home sales were up 8.9% from a revised 388,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good increase there, Bob. In May, a year ago. So from a year ago, we're up almost 9%. That's not a bad price. And someone's giving us hand signals, Bob. What does that mean? We got to steal second base or what?
I don't know.
Man.
I don't know. Maybe we're supposed to slide.
Yeah, usually when I give that signal, that means slide.
Yeah, slide in.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Hey, did you know that rents are outpacing home prices? Ask the average renter why they rent instead of own. And chances are they'll tell you it's because renting is all they can afford at present. Seldom do people rent due to an actual preference for renting, according to a nationwide survey of renters. This is a great story on the First Tuesday website. But what happens when renting also becomes too cost prohibitive, as in California, which we may be about to find out? California's rent index Zillow's rent index for California is up 7.5% from a year earlier. As of April 2015, compare this with a year-over-year increase of 5.25% in their California Home Price Index in April 2015. This reflects a nationwide trend in rising home prices, but more quickly rising rents. Now, that could help us because it could drive some of those renters into the housing market. But today's high demand for rentals and low supply of new rental housing is giving landlords the incentive to increase rents. Renters are forced to pay unless they have the financial wherewithal or down payment savings to join the ranks of home buyers. But since the lack of appropriate finances is the number one reason why renters rent in the first place, that response is pretty rare. As rents continue to rise at an epic pace, you'll see one of two situations play out. Home ownership will be put off longer, not by choice, but by necessity, or more first-time homebuyers will turn to mortgages with low down payment options. In the first scenario, those forced to rent at today's rising price of rents will move to less expensive homes in less desirable areas. Otherwise, more of their paycheck will go to making rent and less into making purchases and saving for a new home, a vicious cycle. This is bad for real estate agents and bad for the economy. The alternative is to forego savings for a full 20% down payment altogether before buying. Of course, it's always better to have 20% down, as this demonstrates skin in the game, decreasing the risk of default, eliminating the need for costly mortgage insurance. But choosing a low down payment option like FHA or conventional financing with private mortgage insurance might be a good financial choice if the circumstances are right. For instance, these minimal down payment options are good options if the home buyer has a solid credit history and steady employment, isn't already overburdened with debt, resides in a community where rents are rising more rapidly than home prices, and plans to occupy the property for several years. So keep that in mind, folks. It's a pro and con kind of situation, but in California, unfortunately, incomes for workers are not rising as rapidly as the rents or as the prices to buy a property are. So a lot of people, if you don't get in and try and buy in the market as soon as you can, you may lose your opportunity in California altogether unless we have some sort of a crash again in the future and you see a substantial reduction in prices.
Values, yeah. So some of the things that people don't understand is there's a lot of, if they don't have the savings to get into a home, there's a lot of programs out there, Bob, that us and our lenders can turn them on to so that they can get into that house with little or no money down. Those programs are still out there. So,
well, I'm a homeowner. But
at least your payment's steady every month, right? What you got to pay.
I know, but you also know that when you have issues with your property, well, first off,
fix that plumbing, Bob.
First off, you got maintenance.
Absolutely.
Every week. That means cut the weeds, cut the lawn, water whatever plants you want to keep alive.
You're not still watering plants, are you, Bob? There's a drought going on. Come on,
man. According to the schedule, I am.
Oh, okay.
And then you gotta get your place painted. If there's plumbing issues, you got to repair them. All that. And when you rent, even though you may be paying more, you can go do something else with your time. You can work a second job. You can go and travel, and there's lots of things that you can do with that time that ordinary homeowners
put back into their house.
Have to continually put into their house in addition to their mortgage payments and utilities and annual property taxes and just on and on and on.
And it benefits them because they got some skin in the game, and in the end they're going to have some equity and blah blah blah.
Well, they hope they do, but if there's another crash in the future,
if it's anything like 2008 coming up, then maybe not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, folks, hey, if you want to call us, if you want to get in on this discussion, give us a call at the KCAA toll-free number at 1-888-909-1050. That's 1-888-909-1050. We're going to take a real short break, and our special guest is coming up.
Excellent.
Don't let your house go to foreclosure. Call Exit Inland Realty today. We can help you stay in your house longer, and we may be able to get you as much as $30,000 depending on the type of loan, and the lender has a moving incentive. So don't delay. Call today at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010. And go to our website, www.exitinlandrealty.com.
Hey, what you doing?
I'm online looking at a satellite view of the neighborhood.
Huh. What's with all the dots?
Green means it's for sale, yellow means sold.
Gotcha. Hey, is that the house we looked at?
Yeah, I love it. Maybe we should talk to a realtor, make an offer?
Did that house just go from green to yellow?
Yeah, sold right before our very eyes.
Buyers are in the market, but there's a shortage of homes for sale. If you've been thinking about selling, now may be the right time. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today or visit Realtor.com. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, hairstyling. For all your hairstyling needs, come to Plaza Hairstyling. We're located at 5184 Arlington Avenue in Riverside. For an appointment, call Pam or Sheila at 951-359-7376. That's 951-359-7376. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, hairstyling.
Are you in need of a home companion caregiver, personal care assistant, certified nurse assistant, or a home health aide? Then call 24/7 Keep in Touch Home Care. They offer 24/7 on-call service for long and short-term care, sleepover caregivers, post-operative care, respite care, hospice care, and live-in companions, serving San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange, and Los Angeles County. Call Joy for a free home care assessment today at 714-997-9936. That's 1-714-997-9936. 24/7 Keep in Touch Home Health Care. Also, a shout to our friends there at Back to the Grind in Riverside. Hi, Darren. Best coffee house in Riverside, California. Get your favorite coffees, smoothies, snacks, lunches, and they even have free Wi-Fi. Back to the Grind is located in downtown Riverside at 3575 University Avenue between Lemon Street and Orange Street. Back to the Grind. Call them at 951-784-0800.
KCAA Radio, AM 1050. Hey, tell a friend. AM 1050.
We are back. This is Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. And I'd like to say that, folks, that song is Are You Ready to Rock and Roll with the Adams Michaels Band, one of the bands I used to manage. That was one of the songs that song was picked by the radio station in Pittsburgh as the best, and it went on their best local music album. So we were proud of that.
Pretty cool.
Got us a lot of work and a lot of recognition. So,
talk about recognition. Let's recognize a young lady between us.
That's right. We have a very special guest here today.
Who?
Bev St. Andrews with Let's Go Shopping.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Welcome, Bev.
Well, thank you.
We're glad to have you join us today.
Yes, and I got to make a big announcement, only for you.
Uh-oh.
You.
That's good.
And you too. Asking for me to be down here. I'm on major holiday.
Major holiday?
Major holiday. I'm taking time off. I'm chilling out, having a good time.
Bev, hold on a second. Let's listen to a little of your song.
Oh, this one? Oh, okay.
Living in paradise.
Yeah.
Living in paradise.
There we go.
Hey, don't they call that vacation?
I call it a holiday. And that music, Living in Paradise, came from Dr. Bombay and the Blue Machine Band.
Oh, I thought it was Dr. Mambo, so Dr. Bombay.
Yeah. Dr. Bombay and the Blue Machine Band, Chicago.
No. He's from Bewitched. There's a Dr. Bombay on Bewitched.
Yes, there is. Uncle or something like
that. He was the uncle.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. I was watching it the other day, and there were Dr. Bombay popped in. That's what made me.
I mean, when I was a kid, Elizabeth Montgomery was about as hot as they came. You know?
Oh, you're telling me.
I'm like, whoa,
I still watch it for the. And the Bill Asher, the producer of the show, married her.
Really? I'd have married
absolutely.
her too.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They got that legacy going on, and you can imagine the royalties she's making now after all these years. Yeah. He was no dummy.
You know what I liked about that show is the mother.
Oh, yes, yeah. Andorra?
Andorra, yeah.
Agnes Moorehead, isn't it?
Yeah, something, whatever her name was. That's the one I like the best out of all of them.
Now, where do you think that house was located, Bob? Culver City? I mean,
I think it was located in a back lot somewhere, but otherwise, I don't know.
Well, what a good idea. What we ought to do for fun, since it's real estate, you ought to find different actors and actresses that really made it big and find out the story of where the program was filmed. On a back lot, somebody else's, because they do rent out.
They do rent out
houses and all this stuff, and that would be kind of cute. And have a little contest. Hey, Leave It to Beaver. Where was their house?
Back lot of Universal Studios. I've seen it.
You just gave them the answer, Bobby.
I know, but that's
that
one
was
I
an
know.
easy one.
In fact, it's interesting. You probably like this quote: "All men look like men, but so few are."
Oh, whoever did that,
That was Elizabeth Montgomery in a movie called Johnny Cool.
Oh, that is.
I saw that. I don't know, 6 months ago or something.
Really?
I like that quote. I'll
That's
write
good.
that down. But yeah, that was something she did before she got into Bewitched.
I wonder if she could really wiggle her nose like
when
that.
she was younger and even finer,
Let's find out. Let's go and get her and ask her.
Well, your next door neighbor's sister-in-law looks like her. Ken.
On the left side
Rhonda.
there?
Yeah. No, her name is
Rhonda is married to Ken. Her sister.
Is that Rockin' Rhonda?
The blonde.
Starts with an M, doesn't it?
Melissa.
Something like that.
Melissa.
Yeah.
I had to stop and think a
she's
minute.
pretty much a dead ringer for Elizabeth Montgomery.
Yes,
yeah.
she is. You went guggy over her on the last gathering.
Well, yeah, she's a pretty
She looked
lady.
like Elizabeth Montgomery.
Absolutely.
What the heck? What do you expect?
It was really fun. Well, talking about houses, guys, I have two big questions to ask you all. Since we're in that season where people are out buying, people are getting
qualified,
approved before they go out and start looking. So they have.
They don't all do that. They all should do that.
Right, but they're listening to what we're talking about.
Hopefully they are. Yes.
Right, it's getting through. Now, with all the different areas that one is looking at, husband, wife, or just the wife, or just the husband, or whatever, right? What Bob and I were talking about this a while back, and if you don't mind, let's introduce that back. Bring it up again. Things that they should really be doing now before they actually go and start looking for them houses.
Well, first thing they should do is make sure they go out and get pre-qualified.
Yes.
And then they should really sit down with each other and make a list of what they're both looking for in the home. Now, for me, I'm pretty simple, and I think a lot of guys kind of are, is that I'm like, does the garage suit my needs? Is there plenty of storage for all my tools and junk? Mm-hmm. In the inside of the house, if my wife is happy with it, I'm happy with it.
Very smart man. You know that old saying, a happy wife is a happy life?
Yeah,
there you go.
As long as she doesn't put her junk in my garage, I'm happy.
Well, that's, if what it is, if you need an extra thing in the back of on the property, make a nice little house, something that looks good.
And put your wife out there?
No, and then put all the extra items in there.
Yeah, my wife.
And it won't look like a shed or, a cargo container or any of this. It'll look nice. It will match the house. And then the value of your property will go up. Did you know that?
If you put your wife out there?
No, the house. Jeez. He has kind of hard of hearing sometimes, isn't he?
I'm going on.
What? Yeah. What? What'd you say?
So yeah, you're right. And so like at my house, at my current house, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't have enough storage at my current house. And so I have a couple of storage sheds that are sit on the side of my house on a paved area that I have there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean you got to make it look nice and keep it up. Otherwise, it just looks nasty.
It'll bring the value down immediately. Yes. So think of that. Also, when Bob and I were talking about this a while back, when you find the area where you would like to move to, right? The most important things. If your children are in school, elementary all the way up to 12th grade, your young adults, check out the school district. Make sure you are happy with that school that your child or your children will be going to. Number one.
Yes.
The second thing, check.
That is one of the top things that people ask about, and it's it's kind of a mixed bag because now there's so many school choices. So usually, Bev, when you grew up or I grew up, You know, you went to the local high school that was 4 blocks away, and you walked to school or whatever. Nowadays, it's not like that because they have the regular public schools.
Yes.
Then they have the school of choice, and then they have the charter schools, and then they have homeschooling, and then they have, options for youth. And so there's so many different things that you can't even begin to know every option that a family's going to have for their kids.
But that's why they should do the homework.
They do need to do something.
If it's parochial, it's charter, whatever it is. Start doing your homework now.
I mean, it's a funny thing is that, you know my son James.
Yes.
So James goes to a school. It's a school of choice, but it's 7th through 12th grade. I'd never heard of such a thing, but it's ranked 24th, the 24th highest ranked high school in the state of California.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There's only about,
a trillion high schools?
I mean, how many is there? 8,000 of them in California? I don't know what that number is,
more.
right?
Yeah.
Well, there's 21,000 high schools in the ranking that they used, and I don't know if that was California or the country, but they also are in the top 100 in the country of high schools, and it's in Victorville, of all places.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah,
you
so
never know.
It just also goes to show you that you don't have to live in a really affluent area and have a zillion tax dollars to have a great school.
That's right.
And when I define great school, I'm not talking about does it look like the Taj Mahal. What I'm talking about are the kids getting a good education.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. So check that out. If your children of any age is riding school buses, check that out. You know, little things like this. And then the other thing, what you were saying earlier.
And make sure there's no dealers in your neighborhood, where there's constant
yeah.
traffic going to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard of people bought a house and then all of a sudden they notice that the neighbors got guests coming at 24/7.
Yeah, every 15 minutes, right?
Yes.
I got one like that across the street from my house. It starts at like 7 o'clock in the morning. People roll up on bicycles and cars. And now, fortunately, he goes to work around 8:30, so he can only squeeze them in the morning or in the evening after he gets home.
We had a Section 8
8
home 2 doors down from us. It was like that. And every time someone would roll up, all the neighbors would call the sheriffs, right? And after, 8 months, the people finally moved out. Maybe he's in jail. I don't know.
There you go. So, that's another thing. And when you find the area that you want to, think outside the box, guys. It's not only writing out a list. We need 4 bed, 3 bath. We need this, we need that. You need a whole lot more, right? Start going around and looking out there.
Is there a workbench in the garage?
Right. Start looking through the neighborhoods. Drive through that neighborhood different days, different times.
Absolutely.
Right? Check out your school district. And also, the other thing, too, what activities is it close to playgrounds, the YMCA for the children or the young adults to go to. They want to go swimming, and you don't have to put in a swimming pool or any of this other stuff.
I live on a lake. What do you mean?
Right. Well, you live on a lake. They don't, right? Find this out. The other thing, too, that you have to check, remember, you are younger now. Eventually, you are going to get older.
I'm going to fight it all the way, Bev.
Even if we do, right? Do you want to live in a 2-story house that you're
Exactly.
going to be walking up and down the stairs? If you have tiny toddlers, and do you want them toddlers up and down them stairs? All of this stuff, guys, you got to think about before you go and purchase a house. It's not like you're buying a pair of blue jeans and 3 days later you can return them with a receipt. You can't return a house.
Well, I think first-time home buyers, that's really, really important for because they've never gone through that process.
Yes.
Now, people that have bought and sold a couple of houses or even one house already pretty much know what mistakes they made the first time around.
And if they're smart enough, they remember
won't do it again.
What
Yeah.
to try and not do again. But this is great advice for first-time home buyers because they are new at this, and there's a lot of things that they're not aware of that they may consider or have to look into.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is it's important is that there's so many unknowns in purchasing a house. Like I said earlier, one thing you got to do is you want to come and look at the house in the neighborhood several times during the week at different times, on the weekends, in the daytime, in the evening, in the mornings, because neighborhoods change dramatically. Like you go through, for example, Moreno Valley on a weekday, and it's like a ghost town. because Moreno Valley is by and large a bedroom community. Most people commute out of Moreno Valley to a job somewhere, so you can drive up and you can shoot a cannon up and down streets and not hit anything during the week. But boy, come the weekend, there are people everywhere out and about and all over the place doing the stuff that they need to do when they're home on the weekend. So again, you want to check it out at different times during the week to make sure that that neighborhood suits you, because like I said, you buy a house and you find out that your next door neighbor is selling drugs or something, and there's people coming up to the house all the time. You're not going to feel comfortable about your kids playing out in the front yard. And what about when you have company, the family and guests, and they're sitting there and all of a sudden these lowlifes are pulling up to the house next door or across the street or whatever. So there's lots to think about when you're going to purchase a home, because like you said, you can't turn it back in.
You can't.
You don't get a 3-day right of way. Actually, on the new loans, you do get a 3-day right of refusal, don't you?
From the time the loan docs are out, not after the closing date. So.
Right, but that's still a big.
That's still a plus. I mean, that you didn't have before.
Well, the problem is it's going to force a lot of confrontations and negotiations at the end, which is not really a good time to do it. But at any rate, that's what the new system is. And by the way, that's one thing I wanted to point out. The new Truth in Lending Disclosure, which had a deadline, which was coming out with the new forms, I think we talked about it at the last couple of shows, is moved up till October 1st from August 1st, which is fantastic because most of our summer transactions, are spring and summer, which is the busiest time in real estate, close around August and into September. So having it moved to October and these new forms is gonna make it a little bit smoother for the people that bought in spring and summer, and hopefully the people in the second half of the season, which usually starts October 1st through January 1st, it won't be quite as busy, and that way the whole industry can get up to speed, because this is the biggest major change in over 25 years in the real estate industry.
Hey, so I want to bring up something really quick, and Bob, I'm not sure if you're the one that told me about this case or if it was somebody else, but in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, somebody told me about this case. Now, you just brought up disclosures really quick, right? And
right.
So there's a lot of disclosures, and they're changing a little bit. But, some people don't really understand how powerful these disclosures are, and the National Association of Realtors and California Association of Realtors push some of these forms forward so that we can protect everybody involved in the transaction. So a short while ago, there was a property purchased in New Jersey. In New Jersey, they don't have any, like a TDS, a transfer disclosure, right? And so these people bought this house. Now, for the last 60 years, there's been somebody whoever lives in the house finds their phone number and calls them and says, I'm the overseer of this house, and I'm going to kill you.
No.
Yes. So these people just bought this house, $1.2 million. They haven't moved into it yet, and this person's already contacted him. He says, I'm the one doing it today. Before me, it was my father, and before them, it was my grandfather that was the overseer of this house. These people just spent $1.2 million, and they're afraid to move into this house.
So what happened?
There's nothing they can do about it. They now own this house at $1.2 million.
Well, I mean, yes, they can, because nowadays they can backtrack electronically where the person called from, or if it's an email.
Well, I don't know how it's going through whatever they're trying to do
investigation
to try to find us. But
that's scary.
But meanwhile, they still have to pay the mortgage on this house, and they're afraid to move into it.
Wow.
That is sad. And see, that's another thing. They probably like the house. They didn't do the homework, something like this you really don't know about. But that's another thing.
The sellers should have disclosed that to them.
Yeah, but they'd never been able to sell their house, whereas in California, see, if that would have happened, then they would still have some recourse to that seller because the seller didn't disclose it. In New Jersey, they don't have that law.
Hey, you're in New Jersey. What can I say?
Well,
Well, that could be considered fraud, though. There may be some other things that they could bring into that that might give them some option. I believe we need to take a break right now. Folks, we're going to be back in 2 and 2. Stick with us. Then Bev's going to come back.
Yep.
So we'll be back. Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy.
We wanted to move in 90 days, and that was our goal.
Selling a home can be a challenge.
I've been through this type of market before. I'm going to be there every step of the way to guide them through it.
Realtors I work with know the markets that they're in.
They know how to market it. They know how to sell it.
Interest rates are at historic lows, which means more buyers are in the market for a home like yours. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today.
The market is always changing, and I'll always be ready for it.
Only Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Don't let your house go to foreclosure. Call Exit Inland Realty today. We can help you stay in your house longer, and we may be able to get you as much as $30,000 depending on the type of loan and the lender has a moving incentive. So don't delay. Call today at 951-300-1010. That's 951-300-1010. And go to our website, www.exitinlandrealty.com.
This is KCAA.
Mom, I had the best dream.
Well, good morning to you, too.
Okay, so I was a knight. I had a sword, and our house was a castle. There was this angry dragon. It was kind of scary.
Oh, yeah?
But I protected the castle.
Oh, that's my brave little man. I'm glad our castle is safe.
Your home is your castle, and sometimes you need help defending it. The National Association of Realtors supports maintaining homeowner tax incentives because they make home ownership more affordable for more families. Learn more at houselogic.com.
If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, hairstyling. For all your hairstyling needs, come to Plaza Hairstyling. We're located at 5184 Arlington Avenue in Riverside. For an appointment, call Pam or Sheila at 951-359-7376. That's 951-359-7376. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. If your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, Plaza Hairstyling, hairstyling.
We are back. This is Real Estate Talk with Bob and Randy. And we're glad that you're joining us today in this toasty afternoon here on Thursday in San Bernardino. Speaking of San Bernardino, let's talk a little bit about San Bernardino County. Now, if you folks want to know something about the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing, not too long ago, back in February, I sold a property up in Apple Valley. It was a like a flipped kind of property. It needed a lot of work and everything, and we got an investor that purchased it, and everything was fine there. The investor is perfectly happy. However, a couple of weeks ago,
which is a couple of months after it closed,
they start receiving what's called unsecured tax bills from the county treasurer. And we've been digging for a couple of weeks to find out what the heck's going on. Now, initially, they weren't very much, like for 2000. This goes back to 2008, by the way. Like 2008, it was like $40. 2009, it was like $30.
4605, Bob.
Yeah. So so it starts at 8 and goes all 9, 10, and 11. And now there's an additional part, 12 and 13 or 14 and 15, whatever. But the point is when we contacted people finally at the treasurer's office who's sending these bills, they said, oh, well, nobody ever informed us that the person who owned the house before and had the house in a trust never told us that they died. Or nobody in their family ever told us that they died. And so until the house recorded with the new owner in February, we weren't aware that this person who owned the property in a trust had passed away. And so now we're coming back for our taxes. And we talked to the assessor's office. Apparently it's the assessor's office that originates these. And then they pass it over to the treasurer, who then starts sending out these ridiculous bills.
Yeah, because there's two numbers in here, Bob, for $188.67 each, which is
these are so-called supplemental taxes that they didn't know that the person had died. So ordinarily, when a person dies, the county of San Bernardino considers that a property transfer, and there should be a reassessment of the property and the
transfer tax or whatever.
And a transfer, and the taxes may go up or down. But when I brought up to the lady at the treasurer's office to begin with, and then mostly the lady at the assessor's office, I said, well, when she died, they notified the county.
The death certificate was recorded.
They ordered a certified death certificate for their mother, the two sons that subsequently owned the property. So when I asked the assessor's office, I said, shouldn't that be sufficient notice to the county that she died? Somebody orders a death certificate, and the lady goes, "Oh, we're not able to cross-reference those documents." I said, look, I can call a title company, and they'll tell me everybody that died in San Bernardino County yesterday.
Yeah.
And you guys don't know?
So what happened?
You think they would just purge that information once a month?
Said, well, for the time being, the first 4 or 5, my client has to pay because otherwise they're going to go up substantially. Right now they're like $130 worth. If he doesn't pay them by June 30th, they're going to go up to around $500 and something. Then there's 2 new ones that they just added on for $188 and something else. So what she said we need to do is we need to pay the first month's, and then there's a form that we have to get from the county. I think it's called here we go.
It's this one. It's about 4 pages.
Yeah, it's about 4 pages. It's a claim for reassessment exclusion for transfer between parent and child. Now, first off, folks, Riverside County doesn't have any screwy thing like this.
Well, the problem is, Bob, after they fill that out, how are they going to transfer that? The people, they don't own the property anymore.
Right, but she said if we sent the form in and it was approved, that there's a possibility he could get some of the money back. But the reason for doing this is they won't stop charging this stupid unsecured taxes unless we can get the claim for reassessment exclusion approved.
Which is kind of silly because not only did that parent die a while back, what triggered this...
She died in 2008.
Right, and what triggered this was the fact that the name change on title is what triggered it, so they know these people don't own the property anymore, but they're still going to assess them.
Right. Well, so it's a total... I wouldn't even defame Mickey Mouse and say it's a Mickey Mouse operation. It's just one of those situations that we run into, particularly with government or governments, that where the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing. It's costing the taxpayer money because of this thing. How would my clients know, the sons how would they know that they were supposed to report their mother's death to the county assessor for a reassessment of the property? It was in a trust.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? They filed the death certificate with the county. You would think that the county would know, and that would be sufficient.
Well, this whole thing is so screwy. If the mother passed away, the boys were there. They did what they had to do, what everybody told them to do. Everything is, with me, I would say.
Well, they had the property rented after she passed away because they didn't want just a vacant house sitting there.
What they should do right now, instead of trying to do this on their own, get a good lawyer.
Well, the other thing is when they ordered the death certificate, then there should have been a little letter along with it. Oh, by the way, you might want to contact the assessor's office too.
Yes.
Something simple like that. Now, the other thing here, before we wrap up the hour, we got 1 minute left here. I want to let you folks know I got a price reduction on my listing up in Hesperia at 8732 Pico Avenue. It's been reduced to $329. It's right on the 8th hole of the golf course. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,851 square feet, so it's almost 4,000 square feet. This house is all completely remodeled from the ground up. New pipes, new electrical, new walls, new air conditioners, new everything. If you got a big family or you like to entertain, this is the perfect property. And if you buy it, there also is a 1-year membership to the golf course, so you can go play golf too.
Well, it's got new everything. We just need a new homeowner.
Exactly.
Let's go and get it. And I'll tell you guys, I'm glad I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
we're so
still
glad
on
you could come
holiday,
in.
but I came in. So thank you, and let's do this again.
That sounds great, Bev, and thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And folks, don't forget we're on every Thursday from 3 until 4. And also one other thing, when you're looking for a house, find out where the nearest hospital is for emergencies.
Definitely.
On that note, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Do you wanna come to the party? We're wasting time.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
To this law before the Supreme Court. The Affordable Care Act is here to stay.
On a 6-3 vote that was released today, the High Court upheld the legality of taxpayer subsidies in the Affordable Care Act. The second prison worker charged in connection with the escape of 2 New York inmates is getting a new legal team. Gene Palmer's attorney, Andrew Brockway, stepped down today, telling reporters Palmer needs a bigger legal team to defend himself against charges of promoting prison contraband and tampering with physical evidence. Brockway points out that he's a small-town attorney and that he'll help Palmer's new lawyer where he can. On Wall Street today, the Dow lost 76 points to go to 17,890. NASDAQ was off 10 points today to go to 5112. S&P slipped 6 points to close at 2102. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. President Obama will eulogize Reverend Clementa Pinckney during Pinckney's funeral in Charleston,